consider myself like a big fucking diamond in the rough, and that's fine. That role is fine. I view myself as some street fighter that's sitting on the scorching sun. Every 5 minutes, some loser comes, and I need to knock him out, and I need to knock him out fast.
I think I had the other day somebody coming, says, "You buy hot bikes?" I said, "Well, I don't know. Are we talking for 1 minute or 1 month, right? About the topic." So
if your bike got ripped off or if you lost the wheel, check Igor's shop.
Inside, he collected such a mass of bikes that you couldn't actually even step into the shop.
Yeah, Igor's shop, it's a perfect realization of the mind of someone who is obsessed with something.
Well, it's not a question of what's where. The question is what public wants. The thing is, the public does not know what they want. Public doesn't seem to know or care. It just sounds like they think that my shit is just running for, I don't know, some odd reason, some odd, unknown reason.
I guess I avoided him for the same reason as a lot of people in the neighborhood. He was notoriously known as the stolen bike guy. But when I actually sat down and started talking with the guy, I found him absolutely compelling. The next day, I came back with Jason Gilmore, who's a filmmaker, and then the two of us basically started shooting that day.
I never said much to Igor. I really mostly just let him do all the talking.
So back home, I was flushed with junk because we were poor.
Yeah.
And here I'm flushed with junk because people are ignorant.
He was constantly preaching about the excess of our society. We have people who have so much wealth that they just throw it away.
Well, ideally, it would be everybody's business not to consume, not to produce anything that makes mess. The city is in horrendous shape, that garbage is a massive challenge. We're not even worried about imminent kind of gas masks coming. People are gonna just buying cans of fresh air. Oh, it's fantastic, man.
Yeah. I mean, even when we were filming with him, you couldn't go a block before you'd be in the truck with him and he slams on the brakes. He was constantly picking up everyone's discarded things, and he'd say, "Well, that's $1.25 at the scrapyard," but it took me 1 minute to make.
Essentially, we were scavengers for footage in the same way that Igor was scavenging for crap on the street.
Did you want some help with that scrap there?
I tried to make myself as invisible as possible and just watched what he was going to do.
You always have to, when you drive, you always have to have somebody in front of you, and you definitely don't want cops behind you. Bikes are hardly any profit to me. I'm largely unprofitable, but I don't have any cost. I spend nothing. My truck is being paid by scrap. My house tax is being paid by scrap. I'm not sure who would I be if I made real money. Hello? I like to be underdog. So basically, I'm just looking at all these phenomenally talented people that I will ultimately be happier and even wealthier than most of them. I'm a misfit, let's face it. Dude, they're gonna throw me in jail one of these days. They're gonna come down at me, like, you know, they haven't busted me in so many years that I'm well due here.
And then when he was arrested, it became this massive news story.
Nearly 3,000 were seized by police when they busted an alleged bike theft ring.
The police started discovering storage facility after storage facility, and even in the courts when they were asking, well, you know, what were you planning on doing with 3,000 bicycles? And he would explain that he was stockpiling them for the collapse of the economy. The New York Times picked up on it and kind of proclaimed him the world's most prolific bicycle thief, and it really moved the story into a new sphere. And as it became a larger journalistic story, that's when it made sense to bring on a journalist. That's where we brought in Rich POPLAK.
This is my race bike. It's an Obeo Orca. This is the team that I race for, Cycle Solutions. My job when I took this was to tell the story of a very, very complicated man. who happens to steal bicycles.
But Rich was doing more of a longer feature piece for Toronto Life. He was engaging it with the story at a higher level.
And shortly after the piece ran, Alex approached me about writing the ego of the book, to which I said, hell yeah.
And so the whole idea was to do something new and exciting with the whole graphic novel form.
But the mandate's clear. You have to use the footage as the sort of ribbing of the piece.
Creating a hybrid of documentary film meets journalistic profile meets comic book.
Let's put it this way, the book looks the way the book looks because of the trip that I did to Slovenia. You cannot not go to where Igor's from. You cannot not go to Slovenia. And I decided to go up to the big graphic art gallery over there. I say, I heard that you have some sort of punk sort of exhibition going on here. It was all collage based. Most of this stuff had been run through photocopiers. And the reason for that is sort of based in the ideology of this movement called the FAVE movement, or the FV movement. During the Yugoslav regime, the photocopy machine allowed the people to take publishing into their own hands.
Because you had state-controlled printing presses, and then the photocopier became this agent of democracy.
And I look at the stuff and I'm like, oh my god, this is what I want the book to look like.
This is our final product right here. This is what it looks like right after it's been out of the printer. So starting with this, watch up the page. You learned how to control some of the creases. I like to keep it as improvisational as possible. After you get some creases, you really just start going over crazy with the razor blade. But rest assured, it's a very messy process.
A lot of the inspiration was also The Watchmen and V for Vendetta, the 80s era British style comic books, which have a 9-panel grid.
What I like to do always after that would be to add some little accents to Igor, like really get the creases out on his face. Really work it out. And with the hair, of course.
What I did was I did shit tons of these Bristol boards. I just drew them out. I'd spend like a fucking hour looking down at these things going, does this story make sense? Slowly, the stuff started taking shape.
And often I would even just rip the page. And there you go. That there is essentially a completed sheet.
It's a really unique project, the whole hybrid nature of it, in which it's conceived by a producer, shot by a filmmaker, written by a journalist, and illustrated by a fine artist. And then now it's being animated into a film treatment by an accomplished animator.
Like I had the other day somebody coming.
He's gone under my skin in ways that I probably will never ever understand. The footage, the way everything was shot, the way the audio was recorded, sort of led us down this path of embracing that sort of low fidelity of the footage and turning that into something visually interesting. We're treating this footage and printing it up and distressing it and ripping through layers upon layers to dig deeper into what Igor is all about. We're taking frames and printing them out and actually ripping them out of headlines.
You buy hot bikes. Are we talking 1 minute or 1 month?
We're using the paper that was used to animate one scene, and the discards from that scene is being used into another shot. And that shot it's all the pieces are being recycled, reused, and it mirrors this guy's philosophy, And by the end of it, hopefully we just have shreds of dust.
The year in which everything unfolded from summer 2007 through summer 2008 will stand as one of the critical time periods of our generation. The year of Obama, the rising gas prices, the move towards increased environmentalism, increased cycling, and all the while you've got this pending economic collapse that we were moving towards that Igor was constantly preaching about. And the irony is Igor having been arrested and the economy dropped really within weeks of each other.
like to be underdog. It's idea. Bicycles are just my tool because they're so transparent. But my body is not corresponding with my brain.
Back home, I was flushed with junk because we were poor. Here, I'm flushed with junk because people are ignorant. I must admit, I don't feel that sorry for people who have shit that's to be stolen. All I'm saying is, if you have something, like everybody wants to have something that looks stealable, and I go like, why would you want to do this? This is liability. This is liability. This is liability.